The United Nations says settler attacks intended to drive Palestinians out of their communities in the occupied West Bank have surged since the October 7th terror attacks. Human rights groups say stealing sheep is one of the methods Israeli settlers use to deprive Palestinians of their livelihoods and to force them off their land. DW correspondent Tania Kraemer reports from the occupied West Bank.
We follow Israeli activists collecting evidence in the occupied West Bank. They suspect that some of these sheep were stolen by extremist Israeli settlers 2 weeks ago, and they actually belong to Palestinians. They're now part of a herd belonging to an illegal outpost farm run by settlers. The activists are documenting brandings on the sheep's ears, which identify their true owner.
There's very clear sign on the ears of those two sheep.
The situation quickly gets tense as Israeli settlers approach.
So we all managed to get back to our cars, but the settlers followed us here and now they're preventing us from leaving.
The activists call the army and police for protection from the settlers. Rights groups say stealing sheep is one of the methods some Israeli settlers use to deprive Palestinians of their livelihoods and force them off their land.
The area we are present in now has essentially been completely taken over by settlers who operate these so-called herding farms or agricultural farms. And the way they have done it is through driving the Palestinian herders from this area using violence. This has been ongoing for years, but I want to be clear that the area we are in right now is private Palestinian property. It's not a closed military zone or there's no restriction formal placed by the authorities on our presence here.
We are allowed to leave the area, but police arrest one activist and one foreign journalist based on complaints by the settlers. This footage, taken by other activists in early March, shows the alleged crime. It appears to show settlers herding away over 1,000 sheep and goats. The Israeli police have rejected this, saying that the incident began when a Palestinian shepherd stole sheep from a nearby settlement. DW's request for further explanation went unanswered. Haytham Zayed, a young farmer who says his sheep were among those stolen, has been waiting to see what the group found out. He says he recognizes some of his sheep in their videos.
These two sheep are mine. These markings indicate that they belong to me.
Haytham belongs to a community of herders here in the Jordan Valley, part of the Israeli-occupied West Bank. Most families here depend solely on their sheep and goats, selling products like milk and cheese for their income. The United Nations and human rights groups have documented an increase in Israeli settler violence against Palestinians and Bedouin herders here since October 7 and the war in Gaza began. Haytham says about 400 of his animals were stolen during the incident in early March, and that some were injured and killed during the attack. He feels the settlers' goal is to force them from their land, and that the authorities won't hold them accountable.
After October 7th, the settlers have become untouchable. And I think that the settler who's harassing me, the community and the shepherds, holds more power than the army and the police. When we call the police or the army, they warn me, if we come and don't find the settler, we'll hold you responsible.
The activists hope that with photos and video of the animals, the community's lawyer can get the police to take action. But the young farmer doesn't have much faith in the authorities.
The only thing we're focused on is tracking our sheep, wherever they are. We'll continue searching for them. We're determined to bring them back.
Without their animals, Haytham and the residents here don't know how long life on their land, as they know it, can last.